Hey guys, Lucas from iExplore here. Today we are shooting around a lesser known part of Tokyo called Minowa, and we're with Lee. Once again, welcome back, Lee.
Thank you. Hello again.
Very nice to have him on the channel always, and so hopefully this time I don't wreck myself on a slide, but maybe you have some other sneaky tricks up your sleeve.
That would be nice, but
yeah. Well, I'm going to keep my eye on you. And of course, please guys, if you can, check us out on Patreon. If you can support us on there, it really helps us to produce these videos, so please consider clicking that link in the description below. Anyway, let's get on to shooting.
iExplore.
So, Lee, yeah, we're here.
Yes.
We've been eager to get you back on the channel, and here you are. And yeah, what do you want to show us today in this neighborhood?
First, around the corner here, there's a bit. Well, there was an old building. You saw the building when it was.
You took me here once
when it
a
was
long
abandoned.
time ago. Yeah, and we'll probably put photos as we're approaching the before photos.
So I got the picture of it, a picture I was really proud of before. And then I came back, I think just before I came with you, then it had been abandoned.
Right. Yeah, when you brought me, it was already just an empty building.
And then I got a couple of pictures inside through the broken window. And then now it's, as you can see there,
now it's just this.
It's completely gone.
Yeah, it's just
completely overgrown.
Field of weeds. Yeah, so what like, you know, I'm just experiencing this in little snippets of time. You brought me here, you know, I've seen your photos, you brought me here the second time now. But what is your experience of this, you know?
So the first time, I think I'd seen it a few years before. And then, it must have been the second time I was walking where this fella is here. I was walking past.
Oh, watch out, there's a car coming, yeah.
And there was an old lady, and she had this kind of colourful-ish dress, frock kind of thing on. And I thought her in front of the building would be an interesting shot. She's quite old, the building looks fantastic. And then, so I move around here, and then she actually went into the house. I was like, oh my God, this is absolutely perfect. So I stood probably about here.
Watch out again, car.
There we go.
He had plenty of room, come on.
So I probably stood about here. And I got one frame of it going in, and it was kind of like, just on his back, it doesn't really do it for me.
Right.
It was like, you know, that would have been so good. But I stayed here, and then where Axel is now basically, she looked out, and she went for the post box.
Right.
And I got one more frame.
And that's the shot.
And that was it, and that was it. And I never saw her again. And then the next time I came past, it was abandoned. And now it's
this.
Completely gone, yeah.
And like from your perspective, because you've been in Japan for a few decades now, right?
Yeah, just over 20 years now.
Right.
Yeah.
And so in all that time, you know, like what's your take on shooting these kinds of things? Because this is the example, you know, we came here specifically to kind of talk about this one, but you have so many photos like this, and I'm sure you're going to show us some more later today. But like, how does this make you feel? Like, why are you, you know, photographing these things, and what's the significance for you? Of course, the moment of the lady is beautiful.
That was fantastic.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's something more going on here is what I'm getting at.
This was one of the things that triggered this idea of, if you don't take a picture of it while it's here, it might disappear. And then once it's gone, you're never going to get that picture.
Right,
I mean, you've seen a lot of that as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then last year, I lost my wife. So it's kind of like, I think, because she had cancer and she was ill for a long time, I knew that, you know, it was kind of, I think subconsciously I was trying to save this stuff because I couldn't save something in my life. So it added an extra kind of, I don't know, poignancy or importance. So I can actually, you know, this house is gone. And people walk past, they don't even see anything, but you know, as you saw and as I saw, there was life here. And there's a story here as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think by capturing that, you've saved it. And obviously, it's gone forever, but in many ways it's not. And people look at those pictures I don't know who the lady was, I don't know anything about her. But you look at it and you can piece your own story together there.
Yeah, there's sort of, you can piece your own story, and there's sort of evidence that it existed.
Yeah.
Right? If it wasn't for your photos, we wouldn't be talking about it.
No,
right?
I'm quite positive. I'm surprised this is not a car park, but very soon it'll be another house.
It'll be a car park or a house or something.
A house.
Inevitably happens.
And then it will look, you know, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And it's gone forever then, so. And obviously the more it's gone on, and I think this was possibly one of the first kind of like before and after pictures sets that I got.
Right.
And I realised the impact of them that you see, especially when it's gone.
Right.
That emptiness.
Yeah, when it's gone is
yeah.
really when the original photos you treasure more. And I'm the same. I have photos of not even something as interesting as this scene with this lady, but just more mundane stuff.
Yes,
just a regular building that I thought was cool, and now that building is
gone.
gone. And it's like, well, I'm glad I took that photo. So when I like I haven't been here as long as you, and I don't think I've been doing photography actually as long as you. And my subject matter is not quite as, focused on this kind of historical part of Tokyo as yours, although sometimes I shoot it. But nonetheless, I'm realizing after doing it for so long now, for over 10 years, I'm starting to feel like sometimes a bit of a regret that I didn't shoot enough.
Yes.
Realizing now, I
And
wish
it's
I
too
knew
late
now.
as well,
yeah.
that's the
So
thing.
even though I'm also of this mind, I'm kind of trying to capture these things that are going to go away or disappear, I also feel like I didn't do my duty to do that earlier. There's so many things that disappeared I didn't photograph.
So did I. And then so once I started, it was like, oh my God, I can't. Every time I see something it's not that interesting yet, but it will be if it's gone.
Yeah, that's what I'm realizing, and it's amazing that it took me so long to realize it. Is that the stuff that those snapshots that you think, whatever, why am I even photographing this? Yeah, now it feels like a snapshot.
But because we're shooting digital, it doesn't cost us anything, does it?
Exactly, yeah. So I find myself actually shooting so much more these days. I take way too many photos of sometimes really mundane stuff, mostly like buildings and houses. Just because I'm like sort of paranoid that but maybe in a year or 10 or whatever, that house will be gone, and I'm gonna feel like really stupid that I didn't take the photo. So then I just take it, buy more hard drives.
It's like this place here.
Right.
I mean, it's nothing particularly.
But this is
And the reflection's not great. I mean, that balcony is good. I remember I think you took a.
You showed me this.
Yeah,
you showed me
that
this
last time.
I do like this. But exactly like this. Like this isn't the most. There's so many like this around Tokyo.
Yes.
This is not actually that unusual. This corrugated metal but it's getting less usual.
Yeah.
And so I'm always compelled to just you know what? Since I'm here, I take a photo.
My hope is outside one of these places. If I wait long enough,
someone will come out. Yeah, right. So that's when you get the really magical moment, like you did with the. So it's not just the building; it's also the human person living there, and there's a lot more to it then, right?
I think this one. I would say I'll get you. I would say this one is abandoned.
You're okay. I don't mind you in the reflection, Lee. Honestly,
okay.
You know why? Because you're part of the story for me. You brought me here. I don't know this place. So if you're there, I hid myself. So that I'm on that scene, but you can be there because
I think actually when we came, that plant was a lot bigger than
it was a lot bigger, I believe. Yeah, and I do have photos from last time as well.
This one might survive because it's connected to at least the one next to it.
Right, so it'll survive a bit longer, but eventually the whole row will go.
Yeah.
As you all know, there's some you've showed me before where the entire row eventually disappeared.
Even when we went to Hikifune, that was last spring, wasn't it, when we did the I Explore video? A lot of that has gone already now. So just in that last 12 months.
You mentioned I've seen
more than 12
follow you on Instagram, and you often putting like updates, and I can't help to, I really admire what you do genuinely because of what I just said. Like I wasn't here in these places. I was always in Shibuya, and and that changed too. And
exactly, that's changed enormously.
But the difference is that so many people took photos of Shibuya, but you're the only one I know who takes photos of these places. So it shows that it's good for a photographer to go kind of their own way rather than where everybody else is, and then inevitably you'll produce stuff that has a lot of meaning, because it's unique. It's unique.
I think particularly with Instagram, is that it's easy to take certain pictures that will get, well, not actually easy anymore, with likes it's up and down anyway. But
not anymore, but I know what you mean.
And
there is like a formula where those photos, people are gonna like them, and and I get what you mean. Yeah.
But then if you're taking a picture just for Instagram, there's no meaning behind it, is there?
Right.
I wouldn't imagine you get any personal satisfaction. Maybe you get satisfaction in likes, I don't know, but I mean, to actually take it.
Right.
And I think if it's something that you're interested in, it makes you want to go out more and more and more.
Yeah, the way I've mentioned this before in other videos, but I use the word authenticity for this, and the way I like to think of an authentic photo is one that you took purely because of intrinsic motivations. Just something in you urged you to do that.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas as soon as you start to add extrinsic motivations, like, well, that's how, you know, the one I grappled with was, especially early on, is like, well, that's what street photography is supposed to be. You know, like there's like rules, right?
Yes.
And so I'm taking this photo this way because somebody said that's the way it should be done, or because you want to get likes, or because you know it's going to be popular, or I met people on workshops who, this is a specific example, but they were shooting things a certain way because they wanted to use it as stock photos.
Yes.
I was like, why don't you shoot it this way? It's more fun. Like, yeah, but then nobody's going to buy it as a stock photo. It's like, well, all right, fine.
Yeah.
But that to me removed some of the authenticity.
Yeah.
Oh, come to this side because the car.
There's I can't. I've thought about doing stock photos for about 2 seconds, and I realized I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I uploaded a few, and I was like, yeah, this is not for me. It's not even worth. Even if there's money involved, it's not worth it. And then anyway, you probably don't make a lot of money on stock photos these days.
No.
So yeah, but that was I only heard that once or twice from a person on a workshop. But just in general terms, yeah, to be authentic in terms of photography, you should always be shooting something that just reflects your own personal values.
And also, it makes you want to go out and shoot more.
Oh, exactly, yeah, because it becomes part of your nature rather than something that you're doing because I need to.
There's a slide there if you want.
Yeah. Well,
So that's a bit tame, that one.
that one's pretty tame, so I think it's going to be safe. But I did like, we walked by here earlier. I like these pandas over here. These are really cute. You know, yeah, good call on the slide, but next time. Not falling for that again.
I've been past there a few times, and it always makes me laugh each and every time.
You know, I rewatch the beginning of that video sometimes. You know.
It's amazing
because-
actually you didn't really hurt yourself. Because,
Yeah, I know. It was loud and painful.
It was funny, but it wouldn't have been so funny if you'd...
I could have hit like my head or something, but luckily I didn't. I just hit my butt. But yeah, sometimes I click on that and watch just the beginning where we put it, and it cracks me up too every time.
No, and I think going back to not only is it authentic, but like I say, it gets you out of the house. And certainly for me in this last 12 months, which has been obviously the most difficult time of my life, photography has been such a saviour. And if I didn't have something that I wanted to photograph, I probably wouldn't have bothered, you know.
Yeah.
It's been a real help, that's for sure.
It's, whatever stresses I have in my life, pale in comparison. But I will agree though that when I am stressed about something or I'm dealing with something, to just go out and shoot
it's a huge help.
Is very therapeutic, because you're not thinking about anything else.
You can't always switch off, but there are moments when it just in the zone kind of thing, isn't it? This is nice here.
This is gorgeous.
This is really nice.
Very cool little retro thing.
Actually, we're lucky there's a bit of cloud cover because sometimes the shadows are quite
right. These kind of gloomy days.
And you've got the green of the bicycle matches that line as well.
Agreed. I really like the bicycle as well. And yeah, these kind of overcast days are excellent for this kind of stuff.
This is kind of what, is that 60s, 70s? I do like the rounded windows.
Those rounded windows are awesome, and there's they're around. Like there are even like tall skyscraper buildings that have that motif, and those are also disappearing. And when every time one goes away, I'm like, another one of those round window buildings goes.
And have like this myself.
Go for it, and I'll get out of your reflection for you. There you go.
Yeah, that bicycle is perfect, isn't it?
It is. The way it's parked there today is gorgeous. And another little thing that's sort of similar is these doors.
Oh, yes.
This place is not that interesting, but this door pattern.
Very much of a certain time, huh?
Yeah, I've seen these around recently, and I've noticed them more often recently, and I realized, these are kind of particular from that era, and you don't see them as much, and they're going away.
Even this kind of stuff with the new apartments that you don't get the.
Yeah, people don't make this outside
it's not
kind of
necessarily the
garden.
prettiest.
No, but I love
it's got
this.
character, hasn't it?
I often refer to Tokyo sort of, it's like my little, I don't know, corny nickname for it. I call it a garden city because there's gardens everywhere.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of big parks, but there's these little gardens all over the place. People do their best to kind of green it up a little bit.
I do like the ones on top of. Probably not in it. The ones that sit on top. Oh, there's one there that sits on top of air conditioning units.
There you go. People just make the most of it, right? They try to fill it up with greenery, which is really nice. I appreciate it. And this place is really cool.
These places are great. Yeah, you've got the old bar, but then there's one further up that I've got a picture of in the past.
I realized I brought the wrong lens. I brought the 40mm, and it's a little.
You can get back in that little car park.
Okay. I'll get one from here first, but.
That rust is fantastic as well, isn't it?
The rust is fantastic.
Actually, this is a good day because usually the sun is usually so harsh on this.
Right,
that it's often hard to get a picture of it. This fish tank is a bit in the way, isn't it?
Yeah. It's also neat that there is a fish tank.
Yeah, that's true.
That's pretty cool as well. That's another thing. You often see like little koi pots, just like not something so big.
There's quite a lot in there.
Yeah, this is a big one. This is someone like really raising koi. But sometimes you see just like a little bowl in front of people's houses with.
Oh, they've got the
little,
turtle in there.
or they got
well.
a turtle
Yeah.
swimming around. Yeah. Yeah, these two are gorgeous. The awnings and the rust. Fantastic. It really makes you wonder what Tokyo's going to look like, in a few more decades when all of these are going to be
know.
gone.
I mean, obviously there's a lot, and it's going to take a long time. But I mean, it's happening at a
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
it's
in
quite a pace,
decades
isn't
from
it?
now, yeah. Eventually, they will be gone.
Yes.
Right. And the reason I can be so certain, this one's great too.
This one here, I've got a picture. You can put it up. There was no interaction, and I just again, it was one of those fleeting moments. There was a plant of some description, really big, overgrown, and I think there was a lantern, partially in the shot here, and the woman at the door just kind of, and I got that one picture.
That's great.
And then
And again, they're gone.
yeah,
It's just deserted now.
absolutely gone, and because it's like that house down there. I think when we went past, it was just barren. But when I went, the woman was there, but there was all plants and stuff. It was so full of life. And this one, there was the woman at the door.
Yeah, it's interesting when
There was
they,
the plant and everything. It was vibrant. It was, there was life
This is the one where the
everywhere.
plant goes over her, I think. Or you have a photo?
I don't think you've seen this one. No,
maybe
it's
I
just
haven't
this
seen
massive big plant here.
It's
But it was
interesting
so
that when
full of
they-
life, and then it's just nothing.
When they move them out, when the person passes away, or they just move them maybe, I don't know, to a home, old people's home or something. But they also remove all the plants.
I know, yeah.
And it's like, why just leave the plants?
Yeah.
We don't mind. But I guess it's part of some cleaning service, right?
I presume, because obviously when I took the picture, the lantern was there, so this
right.
bar would have been open at the same
Right.
time as well.
And these are
That's
actually
gone.
connected, right?
Yeah.
It's weird because the roof is shared, but
Is
the
that
bottom
all-
looks
is that
like two
one-
separate things.
Is that one block, maybe? I think they're all connected, aren't they?
Yeah, but still, like, there's some difference, right? But here, like, literally, it's the same roof.
Same, yeah.
So this is kind of actually one building. I'm gonna move back again, and luckily there's space.
Actually, if there's that one that's all, no, two actually, if they're closed down, then maybe the whole row will
Yeah, I mean,
disappear.
eventually, this one's the only one that still looks like maybe someone lives there. The one
That one, and then that bar
It
still
looks a
open,
little,
isn't
and
it?
the bar, yeah, it looks a little bit more active still.
Usually, if the post box is not taped up, that's a sign that
Right.
somebody's still there.
Not bad. Then there's a nice little shrine. That guy's kind of, I should have shot that, but he's a character.
Yeah, I always
Shoot
like
it
to have
from a
somebody
slight
in the
angle.
frame if I can.
Yeah, same. I usually, of course I get one without, but then if somebody interesting comes through, that's always nice. Yeah, what I was gonna say is that I feel certain that these things will, at some point, eventually definitely go away because
Yes.
there's no real impetus in Japan to preserve these things.
No.
Nobody's thinking, besides like you and me, like weirdos like us, no one's thinking, oh yeah, maybe we should preserve these old buildings, because to them these are just like,
Oh, the amount
they're
of
dumps.
time.
They're
Yeah,
just-
the
they
amount
want-
of time when
yeah.
I'm taking a picture and people either stare at me or they'll say, why are you taking a picture
Right.
of that? And it's like, well, because it's interesting. And it was, oh, it's old. Yeah, but that's kind of why it's interesting.
Right.
But the amount of strange looks and comments I've got.
Yeah, but I think if you, I'm not saying that you should, but if people take the time to listen and understand and see the photos, I think they would quickly appreciate why you're doing this. They would see the value.
Hopefully, yes.
It's just that in the moment they don't see it. I mean, I guess that's the photographer's eye, right? You see it, we see it as photographers, but random person, whatever. So I can understand
Yeah.
that. They just need to be a little bit educated on it.
I think there's a real beauty in decay as well, which
agree.
a lot of it's an unconventional beauty, of course.
Right, and but Japanese culture itself kind of venerates that, the wabi-sabi concept,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
That nothing is, the impermanence of things,
Yeah.
and in the impermanence there is beauty as things decay, and but they've kind of lost that.
I know,
Most
exactly,
people
yeah.
forget. I
There's
just want to say, I love that there's
Oh,
this
the sky
sky tree
tree.
at the end of this
Yeah.
row of all these old houses, and
Actually, this is an unusually old street because they're the same kind of houses. as
Exactly,
these,
yeah.
aren't
That's
they?
why I was just saying, I took it because this hyper modern building at the end
Yeah.
of this old street. Very cool. Yeah, very nice. Nice little scene.
His shirt matches perfectly with the toilet as well.
Exactly. Yeah. He doesn't care. I try to, in moments like that, I always try to like nod at people and be kind of like,
It's just
like
indifferent,
acknowledge
isn't it?
them. Yeah, like I see you, you see me, and then they can go, hey, no photo, or yeah, sure. But he was just like, yeah, whatever. Like you don't exist.
This
go in
here
this
is,
way?
yeah, this is. I know that you and Axel have a soft spot for red light districts on your videos.
Yes. We always end up in them somehow,
this
and
is-
I'm guessing we're gonna end up in one.
No.
Oh, okay.
This is the dark side of it.
right. That's right. This
So-
place. Yeah.
So over there is, I guess the old name is Yoshiwara, which is
Right.
an old red light district which has been through various phases, and it's now still a red light district. But in the past, several hundred years ago, a lot of the young women who worked there were sold into it from their families outside the city because of financial reasons.
Right.
And then those young women, from what I've read, they could leave because it was a walled district as well at the time.
Yeah, right. I've heard that.
So
they kind of segregated it off.
Yeah,
right?
and
The
I
Shogun
heard
did
that they could
yeah.
leave once a year, once for the cherry blossoms in Ueno. And another time was if a family member died, they were allowed to go home to pay their
Wow,
respects.
it's like a prison camp.
Basically, yeah. So a lot of them, because of the time, a lot of them died really young of TB, syphilis, or both. And then because they didn't have any family here, and obviously they were just commodities, I suppose, for the people. When they died, most of them died before 30. They were put in a cart, wrapped in some like tatami kind of thing, straw, and then dumped outside here.
Right.
And the temple would cremate them. And
But-
then eventually the temple, I think it was a temple that paid for it, they erected this tomb to all the women that,
Right. So that came later. So they would cremate them at the time because sort of they had to because the bodies were there.
Yeah.
But then eventually, at a later point, they
I
created
think if
this
I got
tomb.
this right, you can always change it after, but I think this was,
We can add a note.
yeah, I think it was 1905 when this was built.
Let's see.
And I think that's when the practice stopped. Which, I mean, it's a long time ago, not that long ago.
I remember last time you showed me this place, that you showed me, probably we're not going to be able to look in there with the camera, but you could see the ashes in there.
In
There's like a little, there are
so
urns.
there were approximately 25,000 young women. Their ashes in here, which is shocking.
Yeah, and then I see over here people bring like
Yeah.
like hair ornaments and
Yeah,
things like
yeah,
this,
yeah.
like things that girls would wear.
Every time,
Lipstick. I mean, that's fascinating. That people
almost
bring
every time
offerings.
I've been here, there's been other people paying their respects and actually taking pictures as well. It's not, Japan is good at covering up a lot of the,
Yeah.
some of the not the nicer things.
You won't find this on the Cool Japan website.
But this temple, they have it in English as well. They spell
Oh,
it
they
all
do?
out. Yeah, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah,
Well-
yeah. Fair play to them. Not only did they do this,
Right.
but they're honest about what actually happened.
That's the thing. I mean, we say Japan, and it's kind of harsh because it's true. The government and stuff covers things up, or like kind of not cover up, but like they ignore it. They kind of
Yes,
sweep
yeah,
it under,
yeah.
like, okay, yeah, that happened, whatever. But individual people, I find, are sensitive to things.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
everybody, of
and they're willing
course.
to tell you about
But there
it.
are
Yeah, yeah.
certain people that have a certain thing, like here it's this thing, but somewhere else would be some other thing
Yes, yeah,
that
yeah.
this group of people, considers important, and
Yeah.
then they share that information with, however they can. So it's not like everyone in Japan is totally cold.
No,
to
it's
these
like
things, but
it's almost like a government thing.
it's a
isn't it?
systemic
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, the system is a little cold, but the individuals are not. Yeah.
But this is very much the dark side to the
Ah,
to the red light. Here we go. Yeah.
Chua.
Konnichiwa.
Okay, she's going somewhere, a different one. But yeah. Yeah, it is definitely the dark side.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
25,000.
that's an insane number.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's some more of those similar kind of buildings.
Yeah,
aren't
right.
there? That must be all in this area then.
Yeah. There's those are nice as well. And we have a really wide street, so my 40 will,
Yes.
will fit them in.
And actually the temple complex is quite modern.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of it is very renovated, like a lot of new stonework.
Oh yeah, this place is great, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you shot this before? You must have, because you've been around here. Or maybe you didn't notice it at that time. I'm the same, like I'll walk by at the same thing a million times, and one day I realize, wait a minute, this is actually worth shooting.
Yeah, I've never noticed that Ito display there.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
That's an interior. Maybe inside it's an interior. Inside is absolutely fantastic.
We could take a peek. The door is cracked, and maybe it does look like somebody's still there though, because the bicycle is new.
Oh yeah,
not
definitely.
new, but
yeah.
you know, not decrepit. Let's maybe get a closer look.
Yeah, it's definitely in business. Yeah, there's somebody sat in there.
There's the fan going.
Yeah, there's an old guy sat in there.
Old guy.
That's the old style of telephone number.
The old style telephone number, yeah. That doesn't work anymore. Interiors. I wonder what they do. What kind of interior work do they do? They make your place look like this place.
Retrofitting.
Yeah, literally retrofitting, right?
We can just go
Let's
this
go this way.
way.
All right.
Going back to what you were saying before about how we should have taken a picture of it. Here, this building here was, you see the one further down, that's a fruit shop. That was here.
Oh really? So that fruit shop was here? Yeah, or is just another fruit shop?
No, I think it's the same one. So this was the fruit shop, fruit and vegetable shop. Yeah. And this one here was this really old record shop. And then the record shop closed and it's not the same anymore. I didn't get a picture of it. It's kind of difficult with the road.
Yeah, it's a little narrow here, but still, you could have, if you knew, you could have.
And I didn't. Yeah. So that's really interesting, but
this
it's
is
a bit overgrown now.
Do you remember something being here in the past, or was this always a field in your memory?
This was a shoe shop.
Ah, okay.
But again, with it being so tight, and I shoot almost exclusively 35 here, I never really got a picture I was happy with.
Right.
And then it's gone. So there's two examples there of stuff that I really wish I'd have got a decent picture of, and I didn't. So.
For me, it's to the point where even stuff I have shot up a million times, I regret I didn't shoot more of it.
Yes.
You know, like recently the Nakagin Tower was demolished.
That's right, yeah.
And I have so many photos of it. And even so, I was looking through them recently and I thought, I should have gotten this one different angle because I never shot it that way. And
that's it.
And now it's gone. And like, you know, but you know, it's not quite the same. But for me also, like 2 years ago, my grandfather passed away. And it's the same thing where I used to go to Poland and I would take photos of him and his place where he lived, because his apartment was interesting and full of booze, because he collected bottles of booze, but he didn't drink. He wasn't a drinker. He just liked owning them, and he had hundreds of them, and they were all over the place. And and it's a similar way where I wish I just shot more, even though I shot so many photos. And that's maybe part of the reason why fairly recently, over the last few years, I'm more like motivated to just shoot things that are going away, because I have a personal experience of this, that something is lost now, or some person. Should have taken more photos, you know, or done more things, or taken the videos of him, and like, I didn't do those things, and I have some regrets, right? Yeah.
Which brings us on to this place.
This is the car park. All right, this is the one you were mentioning.
Yeah, so this was this thing wasn't here.
This building.
There was a regular, fairly nondescript, much smaller building. And then this started to be built, so the big kind of fence went up. But here was this incredible, it was really tough because this street was much narrower then.
I see,
it's narrow now, but it was
still
much narrower then.
But it was even there. Yeah, I can see that house probably went right to the sidewalk.
So I couldn't get the whole shop in, but here it's a bit hard. It's even now, once it's gone, it's so hard to remember what it was like, isn't it? There was the window here, and then I think here was the entrance.
Right.
And there was this tattered awning.
And you have a photo of this place?
The pictures of the place were rubbish, to be honest.
Okay, but let's show them.
I don't think I actually have any of just the building, because I just...
Oh, really?
I wasn't happy with them, but I got here, and the guy came out. I was trying to take another picture because I wasn't happy with the ones that I got, so I stood maybe somewhere around here. And he came out the door, and I was ridiculously excited.
Oh, but you were taking a photo of him in his place.
He was. I was excited. He was.
Oh, you were excited.
Yeah, he was utterly, like the fella back there, utterly disinterested.
Right, disinterested. Yeah.
So I got a picture of him, just stood outside, and I nodded to him, and nodded and he went back in, and that was it.
That was it.
And then I came past so many times again, never saw him, and then I saw him one more time, got a picture of him. Not as good, but whatever. And then the next time I came, it was a car park.
It was a car park. And fairly recent. Looks like it's not even been here that long, you know, like the work is new.
The only thing that you can recognize is that blue tile.
That was always there.
Not the
that's
tile,
like,
the kind of
the utility cover thing, because that has to be there for some purpose, right?
And that's it.
Did he kind of acknowledge you the second time? Did he remember you? No, right?
No.
Yeah, he did.
He was a bit. He smiled the second time, and then he just went back in again, and that was it. And then here's the short end guy. I do like the fact that it's called joyful renewal.
Well, I mean, I don't feel quite the joy that I'm sure it felt in like the 60s in its heyday. I love this like model of trains here.
It's like they've had an earthquake here.
Yeah. This is some kind of train museum, I think, this little place, right? I want to say, because it's like done up in train like motifs.
Is this actually? I don't know if it's this area, no.
Last time I came here, like a couple of weeks ago, just randomly, I was here for just other stuff I walked through. There was a guy like putting it together.
Oh, okay.
But it does look actually fairly old, so I don't know if he was just like, you know what I mean, redoing it or something, but I don't know.
That's interesting, because obviously that's been changed into, that was just like a
the bottom
shop,
is totally
but they've
renovated.
Kept the sign, that's such a rarity.
That's true. And you see, that's what I wish I would like to see more of, is people saying, you know what, fine, we got to renovate this place because it's ancient and it needs it, but let's keep the sign. Let's keep something, or let's build the new thing that kind of looks like the old thing, so that you know. That's what I wish, for example, they did with Nakagin, that they would build some new tower that kind of vaguely remembers Nakagin.
What are they going to build? You know?
I don't know, but when I was there recently, I spoke with the doorman. We're going to go down here, I spoke with the doorman who knows us, because me and Axel used to rent the capsule, and he saw me and he chatted me up on the street. And I'm shy, so I was just not going to talk to him. But he was like, "Hey, it's you." I'm like, "Yes, it's me." And then we had a little chat, and I asked him, "So what's going to be here? Something cool?" He's like, "Nah, futsu." You know, Japanese futsu means just very normal.
Basic. The usual average.
Yeah. So he didn't say exactly what, but I imagine it'd be like a glass tower thing, you know, simple thing.
Nondescript there.
So. And, you know, that might change, or maybe his opinion of what futsu is, you know, maybe actually it's cool. I don't know.
Not going to be as cool as the Nakagin.
Not going to be as cool. And I'm not having high expectations, basically. So whatever they put there, you know. And sometimes these projects languish for years. There might just be nothing there for 5-6 years before they build something. I've seen that as well. The lot is just empty.
Although the fact that they've finally demolished it suggests that they do maybe have something.
I mean, they do want to do something, but just what I've seen is sometimes something gets demolished and then there'll be nothing for a long, long time. And I think I don't know, maybe the developer needed permission, or you know what I mean. You know, who knows what it is, some bureaucracy or something. So I don't know, we'll see. Anyway.
This is, I mean, obviously back in, like you said, back in the 50s and 60s, this place would have just been packed.
Yeah, this is the downtown. This is where it's all happening.
But about halfway, it's reasonably busy, and then the latter half is just dead, basically. It's a lot of food. A lot.
Yeah, people are friendly. But what I like about it is that it still has some of its character. Like when you look up, the stuff above, these old lamps with this awesome shape, and a lot of these buildings still, you know.
There's a few newer shops open, so hopefully it'll survive. But there's some houses being built as well, which is often a sign that it's on its way out.
I also wonder sometimes, I think about like, well,
this one's the sign.
Oh yeah, this one's gorgeous. This place in general is gorgeous. The sign and just the people in there.
40's a bit nano, isn't it? 35 is probably a bit nano.
I can make it work. I like the people in there. Not bad. Just gotta wait for a nice moment.
It's a nice sign, isn't it?
If I'm squeezed in here, I can actually, maybe if I go behind this bicycle. There we go, that's even better. Now I'm good, now I can get the whole thing. I love these retro places lit by fluorescent lighting.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
That's another weird, peculiar thing that over the years, when I started doing photography, I hated fluorescent lighting and those orange like street lamps, the sodium vapor lamps that have this very strong orange light. And I was always like frustrated by this because like the color was like, makes skin look weird. But over the years, they really grew on me and I love them.
And now they're disappearing.
And now they're disappearing, right? Because now everything's LED, right? Because that's, better for the environment and whatever, sure. But there's this vibe to fluorescent lights and those sodium vapor lights that it's like part of a time, right? So yeah, it's weird. Like you don't appreciate things until they start to go away. It's a pretty scene.
It is, isn't it? Probably known each other since they were kids.
Yeah, right. That's a good point.
She's reading a newspaper as well, which is a real rarity.
Yeah, that's what I shot over the shoulder first because I wanted to see her newspaper. Johnny, you see Johnny too? When you shoot, to talk a little bit about technical things out of curiosity, when you shoot a scene like that, in this light, because it's kind of dim in here, are you doing like a big aperture? You're like on, what are you?
No, I'm with,
5.6? So you're trying to get everything in focus in the.
It wasn't that dark, but right. I put it on. I either shoot on. I have my. If it's before when we're taking those buildings, I go fully manual because I've got time. When I didn't know how long he was going to be there.
Right.
So I shoot on auto ISO, and I have that going up to a maximum of 3200.
I see.
Because because I'm shooting mostly people.
Right.
I don't want the shutter speed to go too low. I want the person to be sharp.
Right.
So
even in that scene, though, because they weren't moving much, right?
No, but
just in case,
just
right?
in case, yeah. And it's easier for a 5.6. It's easier for me to focus it. As well.
Sure.
So I'm doing that manually as well.
I see. So you were in like 500 shutter speed.
I don't actually. I shot that on auto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the camera chose a quick one?
No, I didn't actually. No, I put it on.
You did it without even thinking about it.
Yes,
yeah. That's your go-to.
So I put it on 500. Oh. So then this here, you remember this place? This was the pickle shop.
Yeah.
And this guy had.
He
right.
had like
plastic containers.
Right. These blue containers everywhere.
Full of pickles.
Yes.
It used to smell quite a lot. And he was always here preparing them. And obviously you can actually just see this. That's all that remains of it. The kind of darkened tiles.
Right. He had it way out to here.
Yeah, he had it way out to here.
Wow.
And then it's a farmer's lab.
It's still a veggie shop, but obviously it's much more, modern and kind of generic.
And then the shock of to always come and see him and take a few pictures. This.
Was it like gradually going away?
No.
Or you just showed up one day and it was just gone?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the worst.
I was walking down thinking I'll go and see the pickle shop.
Right. That really makes you feel
And then I kept thinking, where is it?
And
oh my God, it's here.
Yeah, when I came here, I knew it was gone, but when I came here recently, just on my own explorations, I also couldn't remember where it was.
Yes,
You showed me, I've only been here a few times, and you showed me that place once, and I don't have such a great memory, so I was like, yeah, it must have been somewhere around here, and now I know it's this. This is
actually,
where it was.
even now, it's only this part.
Right.
And it just, even though I saw it so often, you very quickly forget even where it was.
Right. You don't think about the context as much, right?
They kept the yellow colour, which is nice, because these signs are always yellow. A coincidence, probably, but it's a nice touch.
So Lee, I think we've had a nice walk through this area, and thank you for showing me Minoa through your eyes. I appreciate it. Is there anything you'd like people to check you out on your website, your Instagram, or?
Yeah, I've got a website, Instagram portfolio, but you can put that in the notes.
Of course, yes. Yeah. Just put it all in the description below. So if you want to see more of Lee's work, click on those links. Also, don't forget to check out our Patreon, guys. And thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you guys in the next video. And remember, always challenge your eye.